I don't know if y'all have been watching the market, but it's pretty nuts right now. In 2020, a lot of people lost their shirts and then some made it off rich. And now the housing market is outpricing a lot of people, and we're somehow back in a bull market, and we might be in a recession. So if investing seems too risky or too confusing right now, then I totally get it. In fact, I've made a lot of mistakes myself over the last 2 years that cost me a lot of money and a lot of stress. But it doesn't have to be that way. I'm gonna share a few common mistakes that investors are making right now and how to avoid them. And if you're new to the channel and you're serious about growing your wealth, I want to invite you to subscribe for future content. All right, let's get started. The number one mistake that I see with new investors, and if we're honest, us seasoned investors too, is being too emotional with our investments. And whether you have 100 or a million in there, you're going to get emotional about your money because, well, you worked hard to earn it. You want to see it grow. You want to see it return to you. In order to get control, we are going to stress about it. We're going to constantly make adjustments. We're going to look at the market all the time. What we want is to have confidence in what we're investing in. We want to choose wise investments that are fit for our needs, and then we need to be in it for the long run. So if you find yourself micromanaging and overstressing, you may need to learn how to relax and let go just a little bit. Mistake number 2 is investing with low confidence. Unfortunately, in today's culture, everyone seems to know the right stocks, the right companies. Everyone's always looking for a quick buck, and there's so much word of mouth on social media, it feels pretty overwhelming. And so it may be tempting to go along with the crowd to invest in what other people say you should invest in. But I'd say always be wary of that because that's a really easy way to lose money. Even if you gain a lot of money on one stock, you may lose all of it on another. So what I would rather recommend is you go for the stocks that you have really high confidence in, that you can put all of your money in and you can captivate on the returns. They may be less than the promised returns of a riskier stock, but you're more likely to put more of your money in so that all of your dollars are working hard for you and there's not as much risk. Mistake number 3, you're not investing consistently. The thing about investing in the stock market or anything else is it's all about consistency over a long period of time. And that's something that just a lot of people don't get. They don't have the patience for it. They want to try to time the market and it just doesn't work out. Statistically, you're more likely to make more money if you're consistent versus if you're trying to time the market, yet people still want to try. If you haven't heard of the compound effect, they call it the 8th wonder of the world because it's really why investing is so powerful, but you have to do it for a long period of time. And what that really is it's your money reinvested, growing by a little bit more each and every year until eventually that little bit more is a lot. So say you have a penny and it doubles for 30 days. You might have heard this before. If it doubles the first day, now you have 2 pennies and then 4 pennies and so on. Doesn't seem like much whatsoever. But by day 30, you're literally a millionaire. And that's just how it works. Imagine if you sold what you had. The penny stopped doubling at day 25. You literally would have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's crazy, but that's literally what people are doing with their investments. So please invest consistently, and I promise it'll pay for itself in the long run. Now, mistake number 4 is over-diversifying or under-diversifying. You usually have 2 types of people: those who seek risk, love risk, they're fine with risk, or those who hate it. They want surety, they want to be guaranteed. And while there's investments for both of you, I would argue you want to be somewhere in the middle. Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful, he invests up to 35% in any asset class. That way, he's not spreading his investments too thin, but he's also not putting all his eggs in one basket. He knows exactly how to diversify to a point where it's effective. So if you want to be somewhere in the middle, you'll have a little bit of real estate, a little bit of business, index funds. You're not over-reliant on any one thing. You may take on a few risky stuff, but you're gonna balance it with safer things. So that's a great way to make sure that you're getting the best return on your money and not just going for whatever promises the higher ROI. Mistake number 5 is focusing so narrowly on the ROI and the growth, the net worth, just the numbers, right? You just wanna see your bank account hit 1 million, or you wanna get to $2 million because it sounds cool. But what about your tax strategies? What about how you're gonna liquidate your assets to actually retire when it comes time? What about if all your money's in stocks and you want to liquidate, but you're in a recession, so everything's down? These are things you have to think about. If you have real estate, you need to think of estate planning and how you're going to get to a point where it's passive income and not active management, right? So no matter what you invest in, no matter how smart you think you are, if you don't have an exit strategy, if you don't have a plan for the future, you may end up doing all this work and having it not be enough. So make sure you're doing proper planning, not just looking down when you're making your investments. I made a video where I broke down my investing strategy and how that ties in with my future goals, so be sure to click on my right to give that a view. I appreciate you spending your time with me today. Guys, I'll see you in the next video.